Okay, so this is our last regular day. I just finished grading your exams, as some of you realized, just this morning. So you should have gotten your exam score. I've already sent the video out. Okay, so there's no new material. This is our last regular day, and it's all student generated. So once you folks stop asking questions, I don't give any more answers, I guess, and then we're done. Okay, so no class on Monday, no class on Tuesday. Monday begins finals. If you have other classes, check with your other instructors for when their final exam is. Ours is Wednesday. Okay, so our next meeting after today is Wednesday. Please notice the start time of 11:10 to 1:40. The whole time is just the final exam. No questions and answers then. So if you have any questions, it has to be now. I do have limited office hours next week. I have already sent that to you via Canvas announcements. So you can find out when my office hours. Unfortunately, 2 of my office hours are Thursday and Friday, which is after the fact. So, you know, I do have office hours on Tuesday, I suppose, so that might help. Okay, so after today, this is our next meeting. So right at a little bit after 11, I said I will send via Canvas announcements the exam being of 2.5 hours. I know that's through lunchtime, sort of, for many of you. If you want to eat in the meantime, that's okay, as long as you don't have anybody helping you with the test, obviously. I might even be eating myself during that time. That's running through most of us lunchtime, I guess. So if you want to eat something, that's fine. Usual rules. The only difference this time, of course, is you don't have to turn in any homework. There is no homework to turn in. And again, how do I study? Study off the old exams. Okay, so I would say at this stage, completely forget about, looking through the book. Just look back at all of the exams. Okay, so I will pick some problems from each test. So let's say if I give 15 questions, I'll take 3 from each test, or if I give you 20 questions, there'll be 4 from each test. Okay, I'm not promising the very same problem, but problems that are like this. And that should be our concentration for today. So for today, I don't really want to have you ask any questions from the book. Of course, one of the reasons is the book is heavy, so every time I have to lift it up, it's heavy. Okay, but the most efficient way to study is just off here. So maybe when you send me your questions, say, do, I don't know, test 3, question 10, or test 5, question 2, or something like that for today. Okay? I'll go ahead and say there's a lot of you, and maybe the people that need to hear this aren't here, so but it's too bad for them. But several people are borderline. Some of you are borderline C and D. Some of you are borderline B and C, and some of you are borderline B and A. Okay, so right this minute, at this very minute, I might be saying, I wonder if I should give that person an A or a B, or is that person, B or C or D. So give me a good final exam, so I don't make me think, should I give this person the higher grade or the lower grade? You give me an awesome final exam, so I wouldn't worry about that, right? So give me a good final exam, and hopefully you get the grade that you want. Is that right? Okay. So I think that's basically that. Yes, you did get the option of dropping one test, so you can drop one test. It could actually be part of the final if the final turns out to be the worst. You don't get to drop all of the final. So I'm not encouraging anybody to skip the final. That's not a good strategy. Okay, you need to take the final exam. Okay, so we know when it is. We don't meet Monday. We don't meet Tuesday. Check my Canvas announcements for my office hours if you want to catch me during office hours at 11:10 to 1:40. Okay, so I think I am ready to get started, and let me check for what we have here. So study guide this is the study guide. Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. Okay, that's your study grade. Okay. All right, and let's see. Okay, somebody asked for test 3, but I want to know which question you're asking for. So give me a test. I'm not necessarily going to do all of it. Okay, so I see test 4, number 3. Okay, you can always email me for your grade at the time, I suppose. Okay, yeah, so send me an email if you want previous exam. Now, all the videos are still there. So if you go into Canvas announcements, you know how after every test, right? I send you the video. So if you scroll back, it might be way back to the beginning of the semester, but they should still be there. All the videos are still there. So one way to study for the final is to look back at the previous videos also. So you got this thing, right? You got your test, and the Canvas announcement should still have the test. But yeah, if you're not sure, send me an email. And you can go back and check the video too. So now all the videos combined are like less than an hour. So a typical video, like the video I just sent, is maybe what, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So you can watch all 5 test videos in under an hour as a way to double check, to prepare for the final. Yeah, cheat sheets. Just bring all your previous cheat sheets. If you want to add something to it, you can. Say, oh, I lost my cheat sheets, or I can't find it. You can make it between now and Wednesday. Okay. Okay, let's see. Test 4, number 3. Test 3, 1, 8, 10, and 11. Test 1, 3, and 9. Okay, that gives me enough for right now, I think. Okay. All right, so let me get started with what I see here. Test 4, number 3 was asked for. Test 4, number 3. Okay, sketch a graph of the function of all this. Okay, f prime is less than 0 for all x. That means it's always decreasing. Okay. Now again, I don't have to give you this very same question, so maybe in the final I'll put f prime of x greater than 0 for all x. That means it's always increasing, right? So f prime of x less than 0 all the time means f is decreasing, okay? So f is always decreasing. Okay, so I know it's always decreasing. Oh, should I write down? Yeah, this is test 4, number 3. Okay, f double prime less than 0 for x less than 0, concave down. F double prime greater than 0 for x greater than 0, concave up. Concave down, concave up, past 0. F double prime of 0 equals 0. That leads me to believe I have an inflection point, and it touches the origin. Okay. So it touches the origin, always decreasing. First it's concave down, then after that concave up. Okay. That's how that one goes. Okay, test 3 was asked for. Let me see, test 3. Test 3, number 1. Find the equation of the tangent to the curve. That's 16.4. Find the equation of the tangent of the curve. Okay, so this is x to the 1/2. Derivative is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2, which is 1 over 2 radical x. Plug in 16. 1 over 2 radical 16. That's 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay. Paper's curling on me. Let me try to uncurl it a little. Just trying to uncurl the paper here. Okay, point slope. Point slope form, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And you are allowed to stop. Okay, question 8. Half-life of carbon-14 is 5730 years. 100 milligram sample would have how much remaining after 100 years? Okay, so A of t is A0 e to the kt. A0 is the amount that you start off with, which is 100. E to the k. Half-life is 5730, so I plug in 5730. Half of 100 is 50. Okay. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. 0.5 equals e to the 5730 k. ln both sides. ln, ln. ln 0.5 is 5730k. Divide by 5730. Divide 5730. Canto. So ln 0.5 divided by 5730. Negative 0.000121. Round it off. You plug that back into here. So my formula is A of t is 100 e to the negative 0.000121 t. And now it says, how much do you have after 100 years? I just plug in 100. So A of 100 is 100 e to the negative 0.000121 times 100, squiggly equal so many milligrams, and that comes out to be 98.8 roughly. Okay, 10 and 11. 10, use the linearization of f of x equals x cubed near x equals 2 to approximate 2.01 cubed. Okay. So question 10. Okay, x equals 2, x equals 2, y equals 8. They did not give me the 8. I had to plug in to get that. The derivative is 3x squared. Plug in 2. 3 times 2 squared is 12. So the equation of tangent line is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. But this time you keep going to get the linearization as a function. So y minus 8 is 12x minus 24. So y equals L of x, 12x minus 16. That's a so-called linearization. So now to get an approximation for 2.01 cubed, instead of plugging in 2.01 here, I plug in 2.01 here. Much easier. So L of 2.01 is 12 times 2.01 minus 16, and it comes out to be 8.12. Okay, and if you actually do 2.01 cubed, it's pretty close. Just for fun, 2.01 raised to the third power, 8.120601. We got 8.12, so pretty good. 11, prove that the derivative of cosh is Cinch. So cosh prime. So cosh by definition is e to the x plus e to the negative x over 2. The derivative of that divided by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. So 1/2 e to the x plus e to the negative x prime. Okay. If you have a constant times a function, the derivative is a constant times the derivative of the function, so I'll leave the half out of it. Derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Derivative of e to the negative x is negative e to the negative x by the chain rule. So e to the x minus e to the x over 2, and that's the definition of Cinch. So that's the end of that proof. Test 1, number 3, and number 9. Test 1, number 3. You find a cubic function where f of negative 2, f of 1, f of 3 is 0, f of 0 is 1. So this is test 1, number 3. So some coefficient in front, and then the zeros are negative 2, 1, and 3, so x plus 2, x minus 1, x minus 3. Okay, the zeros occur at negative 2, 1, and 3, which means x plus 2, x minus 1, x minus 3 is in my polynomial. Notice whatever k is, if x is negative 2, I get 0. If x is 1, I get 0. If x is 3, I get 0, which is exactly what this is. And now I use the fact that f of 0 is 1, means I plug in 1 for f of x, put a 0 here, here, and here. So 0 plus 2, 0 minus 1, 0 minus 3. That's all. So that comes out to be 1 equals 6k, where k is 1/6. So just put 1/6 in here and you're done. So 1/6 x plus 2, x minus 1, x minus 3. Then test 1, number 9. Okay, solve for x and round to 4 decimal places. 2 raised to the x minus 2 equals 7. Okay, and I think I would have caught up with the chat. So I'm going to check the chat right now if anybody else put something extra. Test 1, 3, 9. Test 1, number 1 and 8 also. Okay. So let me get that. Test 1, 1 and 8. Okay, take the natural log of both sides, ln, ln. That brings this down. X minus 2 ln 2 equals ln 7. Divide by natural log of 2. Natural log of 2, cancel out. X minus 2 equals ln 7 over ln 2. Add 2. So x is 2 plus natural log of 7 over natural log of 2. Punch it in your machine. In my case, I'll just peek at the answer. 4.8074. Okay, test 1, number 1. F of x is 1 over x minus 1. So they want f of x minus f of a divided by x minus a. Okay, so f of x is 1 over x minus 1. F of a is 1 over a minus 1 over x minus a. Okay, so let's multiply top and bottom by the common denominator, which is x minus 1, a minus 1. 1 over 1, x minus 1, 1 over a minus 1 over x minus a. So that means go like this. Now, if I take this times these two, x minus 1 cancels out, I'll have a minus 1. And if I take these two times this, a minus 1 cancels out, and I have x minus 1. And I have all three of these guys at the bottom, x minus a, x minus 1, a minus 1. A minus 1 minus x plus 1 over x minus a, x minus 1, a plus 1. These cancel out. Okay, a minus x cancels x minus a, leaving me with a negative 1. Okay, so these will cancel, leaving me with a negative 1. So my final answer is negative 1 over x minus 1, a plus 1. No, a minus 1, sorry. A minus 1 here. Minus, not a plus. Okay, number 8. Find the inverse. So to find the inverse, you switch around x and y and then resolve for y. Okay. So test 1, number 8. Whoops. F of x is 3x minus 1 over 2x plus 3. Okay, so call that y. switch around x and y. Every time you see y, put x. Every time you see x, put y. Now, solve for y. So multiply both sides by the common denominator, 2y plus 3, 2y plus 3. So these cancel out. 2xy plus 3x equals 3y minus 1. Okay, everything with x on one side, everything without an x on the other side. So let's see. Now let's have all the y's together. How about I put this over here and this over here. 3x plus 1 equals 3y minus 2xy. 3x plus 1 equals y, parentheses 3 minus 2x. Divide by 3 minus 2x. So y equals f inverse of x. 3x plus 1 over 3 minus 2x. Okay, and I think I've caught up from that last chat. I think there was some more. Okay, so I kind of lost my place here. I just did test 1, 8. Test 4, 7, and 8. 5 and 6. And somebody else asked for 5, so that's redundant. Test 2, 1, and 8. What time is it? Okay. Okay. When I'm in this situation, it's easy for me to mess up. So if you see me miss your question, then just ask again. It's hard for me to check the chat and do a problem and then check to make sure I didn't miss anything. So this is where I often either double count or miss something. But I think I have it now. Okay, so I'll close the chat. Okay, test 4. Five, 6, 7, and 8. Test 4. Limit x equals to 0 from the right of x to the x. So let y equal x to the x. So we're ultimately finding limit as x equals to 0 from the right of y. I do see somebody ask for a curve sketch, so that's going to take some time, or else I'll be going 100 miles an hour. But this is all theoretical review anyway. So y equals x to the x, ln, ln. So I am going to have to ramp it up speed-wise in order to finish in time. Ln y equals x, ln x, which is ln x over 1 over x. That's in order for me to use L'Hopital's rule. So I take the limit here and the limit here. Limit x approaches 0 from the right of ln y equals limit x approaches 0 from the right of ln x over 1 over x. That's 1 over x. Okay, this is infinity over infinity type. When x approaches 0 from the right, that goes to negative infinity. That goes to positive infinity. So limit x approaches 0 from the right of 1 over x divided by negative x to the negative 2. Okay, take the negative out. X to negative 2 on the bottom means x squared on top. 1 over x, which is negative limit x approaches 0 from the right of x, and that's 0. So I have limit x approaches 0 from the right of ln y equals 0. But that's not what I'm ultimately looking for. I'm looking for limit x approaches 0 from the right of y, so you exponentiate like that. So that loses the e in the ln. Limit x approaches 0 from the right of y is equal to 1. Okay. Let's see. Find the point on the line y equals 2x minus 5, which is closest to the origin. Yes, I'm going out of order. y equals 2x minus 5, looks like that. Here's the origin. Here's the point x comma y, x comma y, right? So I'm trying to minimize the distance. The square of the distance is x squared plus 2x minus 5 squared, which is 4x squared plus x squared, 5x squared minus 20x plus 25, and I want to minimize this. F prime is 10x minus 20. F double prime is 2, which is greater than 0, which means concave up, which means I have a minimum. Set this equal to 0, that gives me x equals 2. So the order of pair is 2 comma negative 1. Yeah, sorry, I'm going real fast now in order to finish. I'm aiming now for quantity. Okay, so that's 7. Do I want to do the curve sketch now? Okay. Okay, number 6. Okay. X equals x plus 1. Actually, I didn't tell you to sketch it, but find everything. Okay, give intervals of increase and decrease, local max and min, concavity, and suction points, equation of the asymptotes. Let's get the asymptotes out of the way. X equals negative 1 is a vertical asymptote. When x goes to either infinity or positive infinity, y approaches 1. So y equals 1 is a horizontal asymptote because limit x approaches plus or minus infinity of the function is 1. Okay, first derivative, bottom times derivative of the top. Minus top times derivative of the bottom over x plus 1 squared. And that is equal to x plus 1, and that's x plus 1 to negative 2. F double prime is negative 2, x plus 1 to the negative third, which is negative 2 over x plus 1 cubed. All right, this expression is always increasing except where it's undefined. So f is increasing from negative infinity to negative 1, union negative 1 infinity, decreasing nowhere. So no max or min. Okay. The first derivative looks like this. There's a square, that's positive. It's always positive except at negative 1. Negative 1 is not defined. All right, so that's that. Second derivative can never equal 0 either. But I do put down negative 1 as an undefined value. Okay, so I plug in negative 2. That's negative divided by negative, which is positive. Plug in 0. This would be negative. Concave up, concave down. So f is concave up from negative infinity to negative 1. And concave down from negative 1 to infinity. No inflection point. Okay, 8. Use Newton's method of approximation to approximate the square root of 6. 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So x equals radical 6. Square both sides, x squared equals 6. So the function is x squared minus 6 equals 0. F prime of x is equal to 2x. So my first guess is 2. And then I do answer minus function over derivative. So answer squared minus 6 divided by 2 answer. And I actually want to do that. Answer minus, how much time do I have? It depends on whether you ask more questions. Answer squared minus 6 divided by parentheses 2 answer. X2 is 2.5, 2.45, and to two decimal places I get 2.45 also, 2.45. And this is still recorded if you want to see what I'm typing. Answer minus parentheses, answer squared minus 6 divided by 2 answer. Which is what I said over here. Okay, so I think I've caught up with that. Okay, test 2, number 1 and number 8. I just did number 1. Let me see, number 8. So I'm mixed up now. I think I did number 8 also. Okay, so let me go back and check the chat. Test 2, number 1 and 8. Test 4, number 5. Test 2, number 1. Point lines on a curve f of x equals 6 squared. Find the slope of the secant line. It's basically just y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay. So test 2, number 1. It would curl again. So stop and uncurl it a little bit. So f of 1.01 minus f of 1 divided by 1.01 minus 1. The function is x squared, so it's 1.01 squared minus 1 squared over 1.01 minus 1. And it comes out to be 2.01. Test 2, number 8. Similar thought. Estimate the slope of the tangent line of f of x equals sine x. Okay, by joining 0.01 f of 0.01 in the origin. Okay, so y2 minus y1 f of 0.01 minus f of 0 divided by 0.01 minus 0. And you're doing the sine function for the sine of 0.01 minus sine of 0 divided by 0.01 minus 0. Make sure you're in radian mode. I don't know what happened to my calculator. Put it down here somewhere. Check my mode. I am in radians. Sine 0.01 divided by 999983. So guess the slope of the tangent line. 1. Right, the equation of tangent line. We're going through the origin. Y equals x. Okay. Test 4, number 5. I think I already did that. Again, I think I'm caught up. If I miss your question, ask again. Check the chat. Test 4, number 5. Yeah, I did that. Okay, what time is it? 10 minutes too? Okay, any other questions, please? If you put your question in the chat and I did not get to it, please ask again. Okay. Otherwise, we're done, folks. Anybody else, please? Okay, I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. So otherwise, that's about it. Yes, you can always check with me for your grade at any time. So send me an email and that'll be fine. All right, we're done, folks. So have a good weekend. Study like crazy. Final exams Wednesday. The starting time is 11:10. So please be aware of that. I'll send the exam via Canvas announcements. And you have 2.5 hours for the final exam. Okay, so have a good weekend. No class Monday or Tuesday. See everybody on Wednesday. All right. Okay, bye, everybody.